Oh my goodness, the man is...
Hello, hello. See, I promised I'd make the break between my streams a bit shorter, and I kept my promise. Don't know when was the last time? A few days ago. And we will actually pick up, well, almost right where we left off. I did do some work in between. But last time we were working on a Silvertooth Cave, which is just a random goblin cave in the Gerald Mountains, non-quest locations. As you know, that's the name of the game right now. There are a bunch of non-quest dungeons. Hey Glitz, hey Vested Art, that still need to be QA'd, need to be brought up to a current standard of quality. And yeah, in the meantime, I've pretty much finished this cave here with 2 cells. We'll just have to do some finishing touches. Then we'll playtest, quote unquote. Unfortunately, you can't really fully playtest it yet since there's no nav mesh in here. And then we'll move on to a fort that I've just started to QA, also non-quest. What was it that I wanted to do? Yeah, there's some in the 2nd cell, I think. There was still something I wanted to fix. Okay. Okay, and there's a bunch of, because Robert, our technical guy, made all of our stuff non-havocable, which is not so much of an issue, but sometimes there's stuff floating around because people thought you know, they would havoc settle anyway, but now they just float around. So we need to actually reverse that, let them settle, and then we can set them to non-havoc again. Oh, he has an apple. What is going on here? Yeah, that's, for example, that's the stuff. That's... like that clipping here. Excuse me one sec. also want some camera effects, always very important. Yes, Robert Blamers are always vindicated. That's very important. I'm also blaming him because he so he's in the process of, like, in all our development history, we had a lot of different prefixes for our assets. Some are called TES4, some are called AAA TES4, some are called SkyB, and he's slowly all naming them SkyB. But sometimes that leads to level designers being very surprised and in shock because we can't find the assets we've been using for so long. Because you're searching them under AAA or TES4 and they're under SkyB now. Which, yeah. I blame Robert. Okay. All right, let's just test this. It is the law, yeah. It is the law. What I've also done is, because last time I was talking about the sandwich rule, which is a term Bethesda coined, which basically means you don't want to put enemies right in front of the entrance, because as you load the game, they're gonna attack you immediately, and you want to allow the player to, like, get away from his PC and eat a sandwich while the game loads. Obviously, this probably comes from a time when loading screens were a bit longer. So, because I didn't want to remove all the enemies from here, because originally they were already standing here, so I set them to ambush variants, which means as a player, when you load in here, they won't attack you until either you attack them or you pass like this. I think, which spot is it? Hello, Quirrell. Until you pass this area, and then they can actually detect you and turn hostile. I think that's an elegant solution. So yeah, what I basically mainly did in here is fix the lighting and add a lot of goblin structures. So I really want to make sure that when you're in a goblin cave, you know immediately that it is a goblin cave. We're also utilizing the falling oil pot trap from Skyrim, at least sometimes. Thought it would be cool here. Always very satisfying. Here we have one of our traps. There's something, I don't know, it swings very fast. Somebody will probably have to look at that because that looks very fast. Yeah, right now this is looking very static. Obviously I set up a lot of patrols, so the goblins are supposed to like walk over these these wooden bridges, so make it look a bit more lively. Will there be a Steam store page release? It will be on GOG but not on Steam. So it will definitely be on GOG. We don't know about Steam. I mean that obviously would be very cool, but I have no information about that, if that's possible or not. If in the future that will be possible, we would definitely take a look, but yeah. Yeah, also another issue, some of our generic goblins don't wear their armor correctly. We don't want them to be in the nude. Yeah, so been adding a lot of these. Whoa, forgot about that one. A lot of goblin structures. I don't like that actually. Seems kind of ill-fitting. Where are you? Where are you? That was that one? Yes. Way. All right. Can get back to the entrance here. Did I see something? What's going on there? Ah, okay. That means there must be something with the portal marker. See this? Let's see. What's the issue here? Where are we? Should be about here, right? Let's see. Wait. Oh, never bothered to check for those. Yeah, we don't want occlusion planes in here. Those need to go. Goblin Wars are in Skyblivion. Well, yes, but we haven't like fleshed out the. They all need to go. The mechanic that was there in Oblivion, like what was there in Oblivion is still there, which is, I guess, if you steal one of those totem staffs and put them in another goblin cave, I guess there is a chance, don't quote me on that, but then there should be a chance that goblins from one tribe move to another goblin tribe's cave and they fight each other. So we have a lot of different what is new compared to Oblivion is that we have a lot of different tribe skins. So the goblins from the different tribes actually look differently, which is very cool. So if, for example, let me check. This is, for example, a sharp-tooth goblin. And then this would be a white skin or bitterfish. They all have different markings. Also, bloody hand, those are cool as well. So yeah, they all look different. That's pretty cool. I think, don't quote me on that, but I think the mechanic was actually there in Oblivion. It was just, you never really got to, it was kind of, it might have been a bit buggy, or you never really, because it was so hidden actually, that was hard to experience. So yeah, I noticed that we forgot to do room bounds here, so that's also something we need to still do. And also this needs to be a different door. That I also just realized. Okay. Okay, let me just run through here still. Goblin craters. And that one's broken as well. I told Robert about this, but it's not fixed yet, so I don't know what happened there. Okay. Okay. Gonna move this a bit up. And then we'll replace this door. And done. Alright. Okay. Now just for the room markers, and then we should be done. I'll try to keep this relatively simple. There's not a whole lot going on, and don't want this to be too complicated. this worked. My doubts. Okay, it worked here. Because this needs to be seamless. Yeah, it didn't work here. Doesn't surprise me. And it worked here. Let's do this again. It's nah. All right, need to make this simpler. Just that one here. To route them all again. All right, very dirty, but simple enough that this should work. It's the only part I don't like. It's fine. I hope you don't get too bored by this. Romance is a very, very tedious thing. Do you think once Skyblivion and Skywind are complete, they can be combined with Skyrim into one huge map? I have my doubts. Because they messed so much with vanilla Skyrim already, and they used very different mechanics and systems. You really should consider them both separate games from each other and from Skyrim as well. the? Ah, I hate it. I hate it. Did that? Alright, that did not break it. Yeah, a Tale of Two Wastelands mod for like an equivalent of that for Skyblivion. I'm not seeing that done, at least not soon, because that's gonna be a real challenge to make those two compatible anyway. Apart from like all the lore issues, obviously, that you would have, since there's supposed to be 200 years between those games. Ooh, Glitz is gonna finish another anvil interior today. Very cool. Very nice indeed. Alright, got that one. What? Well, that's frustrating. I don't think we saved. Nope. Well, 15 minutes ago. Ah, that sucks. That sucks a lot. All right. However, we won't be doing the room bounce again. My streaming time is limited as it is, and I don't want to like waste half of it doing the most tedious thing ever, which is doing room bounce. So we'll jump into another dungeon, which we will QA. It just works. Correct. Why anime girl or face of the kid? Don't ask me. Ask Robert why he put that anime girl in there. Wasn't my choice. Alright. The other dungeon that I just started queuing is Fort Aurus. It is... Where is it actually? Let's see. In the Nibene Valley. Again, a non-quest dungeon. It is actually tied to a quest called A Venerable Vintage. But that's kind of like a small hidden quest, I'd call it. It's basically just tasks you with finding these random shadow banish wine bottles. So, yeah, not the most exciting quest. We don't even count it as a quest dungeon because, yeah, it's just about finding a random bottle. I already had a look at the dungeon. It's a rather interesting one, and I just started fixing the lighting mainly. What I also want to do is it's missing a bit of clutter, I'd say. So I actually gonna go into another one I recently QA'd. I should still have some of the random clutter pieces that I want. Yes, I want that. I want that. I want that. That should be somewhere else anyway. All right. I might just do a new cell anyway, just for and we're also gonna use some of Glitz's clutter. Let's go for these. All right, that should be enough. Yellow. Oh yeah, I've been using and abusing that warehouse cell for ages now. Yeah, let's put it in here. And finally, what else? Because it is a, if I'm not mistaken, it is a conjurer dungeon. Yes. So, which dungeon did I put that one? Let me see. saving a lot more now, so we don't get that issue again. To be fair though, it doesn't crash that often. Room bounds are like a tricky territory where it does sometimes crash, but like during regular level design, very rarely happens. All the more frustrating when it does. So yes, need to copy that from Tom. That is actually a very good idea. All right, so. Which directions are the bricks going? This one, okay. What the? Did people leave the project when the remaster released? No, not really. Remaster is, in a lot of ways, very different to what we're trying to do here. So. Nope. So, I'm gonna put some dummy items here as well, which is something we probably will need to do for a lot of already completed dungeons. It's very important to have those. Those are basically items that aren't set to a specific. For example, this is a dummy potion, so this isn't set to a specific health potion, but it can randomly choose something from a leveled list. So for example, I want this to be a health potion, but depending on the player's level and also randomly, it will decide if it's a very strong health potion, a weak health potion, or something in between. Let's see. Maybe some poison. And we want a book as well. Let's go for a spell book. All right. That I don't like. Skyblivion Brazier-Light. What the? Never heard of that one. It's used 7 times. Nope. And it doesn't add much here to have a shadow caster, really. Ugh. Yep, good reminder. Where was I? Completely lost. Oh, there it is. There it is. Yes, that's a table there. Conjurers need to eat too. Let's add a rug. That's nice of you to say, Jonah. Rex the Butterfly King. How goes the design? What do you mean specifically? Let's see. Ah, fine. Yeah, it's going pretty good. So we've at the start of the year we're basically finished not just first pass but second pass of all quest related dungeons. That's why in my recent streams and the streams that I'll be doing, you're mostly gonna see non-quest ones, trying to bring them up to especially lighting wise and clutter wise our level of quality that we want to have. And in parallel I also will try to give sort of a third pass to all dungeons, including quest ones, because now that they have nav much in them, you can actually really play test them and see if they still miss anything, like do they need more or fewer enemies, do they need more traps, more loot, all that sort of stuff. I don't like this. That's better. Lighting is one of my favorite things to do, really. It's so much fun. Why is that thing always turning off in the CK? I know why it does it in game, but I don't know why it does it in CK, but who cares? Yeah, we're really proud of the way most of our lighting looks, because we're really trying to, you know, get everything out of that old engine, which is quite a lot more capable than people think. Especially when so we are using a lot more assets than Skyrim did, where Skyrim used really big assets that cannot be hit or that cannot use as many lights as we do, and we use a lot more lights, which really shows what the engine is capable of. All right. That's a very cool room as well. But let's see. Okay. Yeah, that is true. That's something really try as well. I always felt like it's very obviously still, you know, there's a lot of mechanics and visuals that you're gonna recognize from Skyrim, but in many ways we want to make it feel not like a mod, but like its own game. think D made this dungeon. Obviously some Greek influence there. Very cool. Yeah, it's very important for us that the the more basic ones, that they across the board have a certain level of quality as well. Especially once, so Skyblivion is probably not gonna launch with that feature, but we definitely plan on, including the Radiant quest system from Skyrim, because in Oblivion you never really had a lot of incentive to go explore dungeons apart from loot, which after a while, becomes kind of redundant. And while the Radiant quest in Skyrim obviously went, very much, they didn't have a lot of depth, but they did really give you that incentive to go explore. So we definitely want to include that in Skyblivion as well. My idea probably would be to have like missive boards, especially for the guilds. Like the Fighters Guild would have, like each Fighters Guild base in every city would have its own missive board outside, and they would give you like run-of-the-mill quests, like go to that dungeon and kill that bandit leader. Yeah, sure. Bounty system would be great as well. How much light do we have to spare? Yeah. Need to have a lot smaller floors here. That's first thing. Oh. That one. Way too many lights in here that you're never gonna see anyway. Did I do that? Well, did I think I messed something up. It's probably like this, right? That looks right. Okay. Yeah, but it's still hard on the lighting. Okay. Oh. All right, we need something else here. We'll build this ourselves. Will it be hard for someone to make a mod so you can travel between Skyblivion and Skyrim to one character and play both stories, putting lore aside? I think so. It will be hard. Because we try not to touch Skyrim, vanilla, you know, mechanics, assets, whatnot, but it's unavoidable. So I think there's definitely going to be stuff. So inside Skyblivion, you know, the Skyrim is still kind of there, even though you can only go there with consoles, but it's probably going to be broken. So I think technically it's probably possible, but it's going to be a lot of work to make those two accessible with one character. But how am I going to make the edge? That's the... not so easy. Even more lights, Jesus. How many lights do you put there? Is that all? I think so. No, there's not a. You wouldn't have to do that, but you probably gone some. You'd have to do some. Yeah, some duplicates probably. You'd have to like combine some systems and mechanics that aren't meant to work together. That's very nice of you. Thank you. Okay. I think I have a solution. I'm gonna do this with trims. Gonna fake ourselves some stairs here. Yeah, the Elder Council was kind of an afterthought, obviously. Yeah, never really felt like something that actually existed. That's not gonna be something that we'll fix at launch, but maybe once, because we have a lot of we did some brainstorming of some ideas that will probably not make it into like the initial release, but something that we still wanna do in future updates. And one of those things is adding some inconsequential NPCs to a lot of our cities, because we did make a lot of our cities quite bigger than they were in Oblivion. And even in Oblivion, you know, there was the issue of cities often feeling kind of empty, and us making them bigger, you know, exacerbates that issue. So we want to add not a whole lot. It's not supposed to be like a game like The Witcher, where there's like a realistic amount of NPCs in a city, because that doesn't really vibe with the Elder Scrolls style, I'd say. But you know, like 5 to 10 NPCs per city that still have actual daily routines. like maybe a blacksmith or something like that. But they're not gonna have, you know, quests or anything. Stuff like that we'll leave to modders. The Elder Council Amulet. Didn't know that was a thing. Yeah. Alright. Yep. That is a lot better. Now we have a lot more leeway with lights. That one is still, but... no. Perfect. Well, it's more like I obviously I haven't seen the asset. It's not that we cannot use them, but we try to use Skyrim assets sparingly because they like the level of detail in our assets is for the most part a lot higher, and the assets sometimes look too. They remind you too much of Skyrim. You see the difference. We do make exceptions, obviously. There are some Skyrim assets that we use as well. Will there be ray tracing? No. I don't know if there... I mean, there's ray tracing mods for Skyrim. I'm not sure. Is that faked ray tracing? I have no idea about that. But no, we're not doing... We're not adding ray tracing. Like new visual techniques, stuff like that, that's not in our... you can obviously use Skyblivion with EMB and community shaders, which look quite good, but yeah, you can't, like Mike, Chicken Mike is saying, you cannot... the Skyrim engine isn't capable of ray tracing. Can you send a link to... sure. I mean, I'm not sure if Discord will make an issue of this, but I have no issue with you linking to a USP page. Yeah, that's probably gonna look off compared to the rest of our amulet, so it would probably have to be redone. True. We do hope that a lot of people will, once it's out, will make their own mods for Skyblivion. Yes. Yep. Where is this? Oh, this is that. Yeah, okay. I know what this is. Alright, see you, Senpai. Thanks for watching. Let's give it a quick in-game view. There might be a lot of Shadowcasters turning off and on because I had to remove all the room bounds, and I still need to add the scripts we use to allow the game to have more, or to allow dungeons to have more Shadowcasters. Because in vanilla, you have a hard limit of 4 Shadowcasters rendered at any given time. Now with room bounds, you can have some more, but even then, it's limited. There's not such a hard limit, but it's still limited. But with scripts, like, need to use them cleverly. But with scripts, you can use a lot more. Yeah, those things need to be disabled. Start. Okay. That's a cool scene. Oh, that's not good. Need to fix that. couple of seams that we need to fix as well. Alright. Okay, first thing to fix. On release, it will be just a base game. So how Oblivion was when it first came out, without any of the DLCs, apart from spell tomes, because we already have spell tomes in there. But stuff like what was the name of the Wizard's Tower, or the castle, or Maruna's Razor, all those will be done afterwards. So we don't know the exact order in which we'll do them, because some of them are quite small, so you know, we'll probably release a bunch of those at the same time. And for the two big DLC, it's gonna be Knights of the Nine at first, and then we'll slowly get into Shivering Isles, because that's gonna be the big one, because Knights of the Nine doesn't require a whole lot of level design, whereas Shivering Isles is a whole new world space. I think you might have a model of that, yeah, I know, but that was long before my time. So currently, Shivering Isles is really, apart from our 2D team maybe, because their work on like the main release is done, so they have the time to, you know, already think about Shivering Isles. But apart from that, nobody in the team is currently thinking about Shivering Isles. There was a seam here, right? Yeah. Sloppy, sloppy, sloppy. Buongiorno. Let's see, what trim are we gonna use here? Let's just use that one. Interesting. See. Okay, something I cannot add as of yet because they're not in the build yet, but they should be soon. Is I recently tasked our our mechanics department. There's someone who's called Slampire who's been doing a lot of really cool spells, and I asked him to add at least 2 more elemental traps to the build. So there's, if you remember this from Skyrim, maybe they're called trap rune. These things. So there's 3 different elemental runes in Skyrim. Like shock spell, ice spell, and fire spell. Basically, when you run over them, you get hit by a spell. And I wanted to have some more variety in these because we have there's a lot of dungeons filled with either necromancers or conjurers. So we're gonna have 1 trap that will summon like a random Daedra, I think, when you walk over them. And I'm not sure what will the other one do. I'm not sure yet. Maybe summon an undead, probably. But that should hopefully give more variety. Actually, let's do something cooler. Since they're conjurers, they might have some magic light as well. So there's some more colors in here. Just orange everywhere. It's further down. This maybe. Not that much longer. Maybe half an hour. Then I'll unfortunately have to leave. But as I said before, I'll try to make these more regularly. Help me motivate to get through these. Help me get through the QA of these quote unquote bit more basic dungeons. Right. Which direction did I wanna? This one. Oh yeah, let's see. Yeah. Trust me, I do think about them. Is Navmesh gonna be able to walk? Yeah, probably. Come on. Don't want that. All right. That's fine the way it is. All right. Where is this? This is Fort Orus. in the Nimene Valley. That one to be off. And we'll have one here. Those are very bright candles. They're always as bright as we need them to be. Don't like that though. Thank you, lazy spider. Good idea. Alright, I think that's gonna be the last thing we'll do today. Maybe fix that seam first of all, and then try to do the lighting in this room. I think there should be one. That's better. Let's just use that one. Alright, so I'm not a fan of this, to be honest. It's too large. It's better, probably. Also don't like that light source. Yeah, that's a really cool room. Can't take credit for that one. That one D did. I'm just here to fix up lighting and whatnot, and add clutter here and there, and fix issues. Why are there two lights? Sigil yellow. Blue bounce. Blue bounce. Let's see. Is that the actual? That's that one, yeah. All right. Let me think how I want to handle that one. Empire Sigil yellow. That's good. Because I think we have something similar in the Mages Guild. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Let's see. How would a shadow spot look here? Okay. That doesn't look half bad. Let's see. How much lighting do we have to spare? Okay. We can still get away with more because I think there's that one. Neat. And we should be able, don't want to have this be a shadow caster, but we also need to fix the light bleed up here, so we don't want this. Let's see, we can't fix that. Maybe don't need all that. Oh, obviously. I think that should fix it. Maybe not. Why? Let's see how this looks in game. Oh, hello. Hannah Scroll. Aren't you the one from the YouTube channel? I think I remember you. That I don't like, but let's see how this looks in game before we bother trying to fix it. Let's see, what can we do here? Should have one of these. Yeah, so that's very cool. Yeah, I think I saw your video on the Manny Marco boss fight I did. Very welcome. Thank you for highlighting it. Maybe one thing to note in my video, the one you showed as well, Manny Marco is still wearing his old Oblivion robes and he's still attacking you with a dagger. That'll be hopefully fixed once the game release. He should be casting spells using his spells, not attack you with a dagger like a maniac. Right. All right, it's take a look. This is Fort Aurus, which is a random non-quest fort in the Nivene Valley. Yeah, so as I said last stream and the beginning of this stream, most of my streams currently and in the next future will focus not so much on the flashy quest locations, because those have all been have all at least received a second pass, where they're not just finished, but basic QA is done for them. They still might require a third pass, where I still check, if enemy and loot distribution, all that is fine. But there's still a few non-quest ones that need to be done, so I'm focusing on those currently, like this fort, for example.
Read them all.
Thank you. This one, I'm just QAing this one, and I'm fixing up the lighting. The level design was actually done by D-Keys way back when. Yeah, but so hallways like this so I will focus on this. The next time I'll stream, probably, yeah, they need a lot of more clutter in my opinion, more spider webs, more loot. I wasted a ton of it. Uninteresting. Alright, so we wanted to check out this room. Yeah, that's true. It does have the Shadow Banish wine. Okay, that needs to be. That doesn't look quite right. Okay, but there's no light bleed up there, which is good. So that's just in the CK then. That's good. Yeah. Wait a minute. Did that actually save? Huh. Not sure about that one. Alright. Technically, yes. But I don't count it as a quest location because not a blocker to the quest department, because the quest is just about, you know, getting enough of these Shadow Banish wines. Alright, I think with that I will probably end it, maybe. Because there is one more quest location that I need to finish. Glitz, if you're still here, I might actually task you with maybe adding some clutter now that it's like the basic layout is almost done, which is the Wizard's Grotto. Nice. Hello, Glitz. Yeah, you already did some a cluttering pass, but maybe you'll oh, lurking. Maybe you'll do another one. Oh, okay. Let me, because otherwise I'll spoil you. Oh, no worries, no worries. Alright. So this is pretty much the last quest dungeon that I'm still working on. It's from the Thieves Guild. It's where you have to steal the Arrow of Extrication or something. Yeah, that's a really big one. And so it's inside the Breville Castle. It's like the secret hideout, conjuration hideout of the Breville Court Mage. So basically this would lead into the Castle of Breville. And you come here. So it's done for the most part, but it still needs some doing. This is also the dungeon, if you remember, where you can meet the giant slaughterfish. So as a player, you will have the choice of either, I think, going through here. I'm not sure yet if you're gonna require a key that you'll have to steal beforehand to get through here, or you can go like the water route. And going the water route, you have a chance of meeting the giant slaughterfish. Normally it's down, yeah, it is down here actually. That is the giant slaughterfish. You can actually enter the dungeon from here as well, so it's not here yet, but this is gonna be like an exit into the ocean, I think. Or at least a lake outside of Breville. I'm not sure if that's an ocean or yeah. The only issue with the giant slaughterfish now is, as you maybe heard, we on release we won't have underwater combat. We did have a working version of that, but it caused too many issues, I think, and too many incompatibilities with potential animation mods. So yeah, it's gonna be hard to fight the giant slaughterfish. So still gonna see what we can do about that. Ignore the lighting here, that's broken. I need to fix that. You're also gonna require potions or spells of water breathing, otherwise it's gonna be hard to swim through. So this is the secret entrance you can enter. Oh, holy physics. So here so when I make a dungeon, I always try to add something special to the quest they're tied to. I'm not sure about the technicalities. Not Your Average Gamer asks if we could do a band-aid fix for the time being and put underwater combat in without the third-person animations. I still think there are issues. I'm not sure about the technicalities, but some of the guys who know what they're talking about, yeah, we just said that it comes with more downsides and upsides. But anyways, what I still a seam here, try to do here is add some cool ways to sneak. I wanted to add something like if you ever played the Arkham Asylum games, the Batman Arkham games, I mean, where you could crawl through these vents. And another mechanic that I included here, I think I showed this off at some time, is, so this is like a secret conjurer hideout, and in vanilla Oblivion, so it's just a bunch of conjurers with Daedra, and my like thinking process was, this is a bunch of conjurers and the court mage like experimenting on Daedra. They're trapping them inside these cages and then I don't know, stunning them. So I added this mechanic where these barriers are held up by soul gems, and now as a thief character you have a way of going through the dungeon without needing to kill the conjurers, which you could do. So this is like one of the only times where during the Thieves Guild you can actually kill enemies without being punished. But you now have another way of going through the dungeon by just either stealing the soul gems, or you can shoot them down with arrows, or even use telekinesis. And then the barrier breaks, and if I have AI disabled, so nothing happens, but the scamp would then turn hostile and they would attack each other. So that's a way of, you know, using the Daedra against the conjurers. Also, I added like these little nooks so players can hide from patrolling guards. I really wanted to make this fun for thief characters. All the flickering lights, that's all gonna be fixed hopefully. Yeah, there's gonna be a bunch of these. And you come into this big room, and there's gonna be some. Then they're not here now, but there's gonna be some stronger Daedra here, maybe a Daedra, and then you can again steal it and let them fight each other. Now this is a fun little mechanic I also thought of. So you come into this room and you see this crumbling wall, I guess, and then it's gonna be a letter telling you about how, you know, they're experimenting with clanfares here and how they're very aggressive, and with their crest they can break down walls. So hopefully it'll be obvious enough what you need to do to progress. I just thought it was really fun. Oh, no. Something broke. That's a shame. Worked the last time. Okay, something must have changed. So what should happen is that this clanfare is supposed to break this wall. So it'll run into the wall actually and break it down, which is really cool. For some reason, it's not working right now. And then you finally get to the final room. I need to find a way to get past this barrier. And there are several ways to do that actually, but maybe I'll let you guys figure that out yourselves and not spoil it. Yeah. I think we'll end the stream right about here. Thank you all very much for watching. And I'll see you next time, hopefully very soon. Bye-bye.